I'm Ramsey, the loud one.
I'm Jesse, the short one.
Put us both into one, we are. Lots of noise, always too fast, lots of laughs. Here's our podcast, the loud and short of it.
Hi, and welcome to the loud and short of it.
I'm Ramsey, the loud one.
And I'm Jesse, the short one.
This week we have a brand new and improved variety hour. Instead of pushing out 10 topics and blasting through them, we're going to take 5 topics, the same topics, and take some time with each one of them.
Really focus on them, and not ones that we don't like. No more gamer grandmas and other useless things that we didn't want to talk about and you didn't want to hear about.
Me trying to act like Doctor Who making a game was good news.
This time we'll focus on really important, useful information. No matter how sad and mundane it may be. So, starting on the sad and mundane, let's get into politics.
Do we have to?
I feel like it's pretty important,
Yeah,
even if no one, including us, wants to talk about it.
I'm just not very political, bro. All right, so Bernie and Biden had a task force after Bernie dropped out of the election.
Yes, so part of the rules or what was set up with Bernie dropping out was that he was going to get to set up a task force that works with the Biden campaign and hopefully moves Biden to the left on some issues.
Yeah,
actually,
God willing.
Gives a fuck about what young people and normal people care about.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can say I'm normally pretty doom and gloom. There's some things in here that are bad, but in general, we're going to get into each of the things that they talked about. But in general, I think it's not terrible. It's better than I expected from Biden.
What I will say is that it is more, like you said, it's more progress than I expected, but holy fuck, not even close to an ideal situation.
Yeah, not at all. It's more of the let's meet in the middle and pick the lesser of two evils situation.
Let's
so
start in
we're
the
not
middle.
telling y'all how to vote, and let's get into it so you can form your own opinions. Healthcare. What did they do?
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
Expanding government-run plans was the biggest push, but they don't want Medicare for all, saying fuck no.
So still no Medicare for all, but Joe Biden has said that he plans on lowering the Medicare age to 55, which is what Hillary Clinton said she was going to do in 2016. So we're still just 4 years back. No improvement there.
Yeah.
But, that's something. And he's also going to work to make prescription drugs cheaper for people. And they say, like they always do, that there'll be deductible-free, cheap health insurance plans for people making under $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I also
which just never comes to fruition, but hopefully.
Also in the article, I saw some support for just insulin in general. I feel like there's been a huge, I don't know if it's been for a long time, but especially in the past 5 years, I've seen a huge push that people just think that having to pay for insulin is insane, and I completely agree.
That and inhalers, life-threatening medication that thousands and thousands or millions of people are on need to be at minimum affordable.
Yeah, same with EpiPens. Jesus, $500 a pup.
I've had to get
$500.
Yep, and they
$500.
expire. They don't even last forever. You can't just get one and be done until you use it.
Yeah.
But so that one, not gonna say, not happy.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. But let's get in the next one.
Yeah. Criminal justice is so. There were some conversations to be had about the police force. Specifically, they were going to have a national database of police officers who were
pieces of shit.
Yeah, just giant pieces of shit.
Bigger, more than a normal cop.
Yeah, so when they get let go and try to go to another department, the department will have a government-funded truth that this dude is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Whether or not they follow it, I don't know. There wasn't a ton of follow-up on that. And then federally regulated use of force type stuff, which is
more rules that won't be followed. But the one good thing that Biden did agree to is trying to get rid of private prisons.
Yeah.
Which under Obama was not the case.
Yeah.
Obama let that shit just fucking fly, and it's insane.
Yeah. Reading more about the private prison system, and for you basketball fans out there, if Michael Jordan made a fuckload of money off of it, it's really just insane, like in the modern day, that this is how things are going. I don't understand how, and it's weird to me that Biden isn't focusing on this, especially with the climate where it's at right now.
Well, because private prisons fund both sides of our political spectrum, so why would they get rid of them?
I was so much happier 20 seconds ago.
And it's the exact reason why, and this is the biggest problem that I found in the criminal justice coalition or task force, marijuana, Joe Biden, hard red line. He is not stopping.
Yeah.
That will still be legal federally. He will let the states decide, which has been Obama's policy and Trump's policy, and will now be Biden or Trump's policy going forward.
The only push I saw was for medicated marijuana or medical use specifically. But then again, it pushes down, or it boils down to like the same argument where it's like marijuana arrests are targeting minorities. And they have been for years, and Biden doesn't fucking care.
And I think that is one of the most obvious examples where you can show that I'm not telling anybody what way to vote on this, but you can show that the Democrats and the Republicans both aren't in this to help people.
No.
If either one of them picked up a pro-legalization policy, they would soar in the polls. That has been shown that vastly more than 50% of Americans are for the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
But you know who's not for it? The private prison industry, the alcohol industry, 800 different industries that would get blown up by the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
So they'll never back it because that's where the money comes from.
The thing that blows my mind of this too is that we have seen states like have recreational marijuana legalized, and they've only fucking benefited.
Yeah, school districts. That's usually where the money goes.
Yeah, crime went down. Fucking profits were up. They were able to tax fucking weed centers. What are they called? Dispensaries. I don't understand from a normal standpoint how anyone can see this and say that, he has a point. He just doesn't.
It's an economic win, it's a moral win, and it's a win that gets you more votes. But what it doesn't do is it does not net you more money as a politician.
Yeah.
And it could dissuade older voters.
Yeah. Who unfortunately are the ones voting.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not going to get into all that. Okay, let's keep going. Climate change. I think this is the most disappointing of all of them.
Yeah.
No talk of the Green New Deal at all. No talk of really anything concrete.
Yeah.
The only thing that really changed was that instead of just saying that we will try to be good in 2050, we're now trying to make all buildings carbon neutral by 2030 and a couple other things that are still 10 years down the pipe. Yeah. No carbon tax was discussed. Nothing useful in any way.
Bro, I read through that shit. It's a very, very vague one. It literally lists out 6 ones, and this one is complete fucking bullshit. Yeah. My eyes glazed over the second I read it, and I was like, I'm taking a break.
So, on that one. But the important thing to bring up in topics like this, which I know, I hate it too, still better than Trump on the climate change.
Yeah, Jesus fucking hell.
He's not talking about clean coal and refusing to use any form of alternative energy, so... Yeah, that one hurts to say, but it's true.
Now, my favorite one, the economy.
Yes.
You can take
stonks.
You can take another lead on this one. Closing racial gaps and creating jobs programs. The one thing I saw that I did like was that Senator Sanders was pushing towards having employment. When people are unemployed, having a very clear path to getting them employed, like with federally assisted programs.
And if anybody, which I assume some of our listeners are, if you're on unemployment right now, soon I believe the deadline in Texas is going to force you to start looking for jobs, even during Corona, and you will see just how garbage that system is.
Yeah, it's you have to use the federal site or whatever.
Yeah, and then you log hour. It's just it's weird and outdated and garbage, especially when we have things like LinkedIn and everything else that are much more useful.
I don't know. I can't get behind that. I think that Sanders pushing for the task force pushing for the path to new employment. It's one of the easiest things for me where I feel like people on the other side of the aisle can be like, oh fuck yeah, we're not just gonna give them money or whatever. But it's that's another one where I'm just like, look at this. Like this is
job
something.
Creation is bipartisan for sure.
Yeah.
But this is what annoys me. How did this task force come together? And in the article, at least, it was never addressed that they talked about tax brackets. That it should be the number one things that a Sanders-led coalition would be pushing for.
Yeah.
Is raising taxes on the rich and lowering taxes on the middle and lower class. But apparently that wasn't even discussed. Probably was just a hard line if we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just so you know, the Bush tax cuts, Obama loved them, Biden loved them, Hillary loved them, Trump loves them. All of the people that have over $100 million in their bank account, they fucking love them.
Yeah.
So
every rich white liberal sweats when you talk about taxes. They're like, but I care about people. Education, rethinking Obama-era priorities.
Now, this is one that made me the happiest.
Yeah.
For a long time now, especially with Betsy DeVos. And if y'all don't know her, haven't seen her, here's a picture of her. biggest bitch in the entire fucking world. She's just garbage. She's destroying the fucking country.
Well, look, she has devil horns.
I'm not even gonna go on to it because I could go for the rest of this entire episode.
You talking about when she's talking about kids need to go back to school, even though she's all the kids going to private school are gonna be totally fine. All the kids in the inner cities are not gonna have the same sanitation, right?
Exactly. That is the new stuff that she's up to. But in general, Biden has agreed with Sanders that they're gonna start overseeing charter schools and private schools on a federal level way more. Which good, because fuck private schools and fuck charter schools.
Let me put a pin in that. I went to a charter school. It was bad. It was dog shit. The only thing that was good that I got out of that were I had no fucking skills I learned for college and studying. The only thing I got out of it was my teacher became my mentor, and then he taught me a fuckload of shit. But that's it. Yeah. Charter schools are ass.
They also agreed to try to make private colleges tuition free for people that make under $125,000 a year. Which is annoying because some people's parents aren't helping. Even if they make more than that, it's just means-tested bullshit. Yeah. Nonetheless, it's better than nothing. And they're trying to make community colleges completely free, which is super nice because I know specifically in Austin, our community college is great. Went there for all my summer classes, saved a ton of money by going there. But that's because I lived in District. If you live in Round Rock or one of the surrounding areas, you were just fucked. Yeah. I mean, it's still cheaper than college, but like it's not practically free, which is what I paid. It was like $30 a class or some shit.
Yeah, it was absurd. My biggest regret is not taking those fucking classes. It saved my dad a ton of money.
Very happy going to those. Okay, last one. Immigration.
Biggin.
Yeah.
Biggin.
Basically, they left this one vague as well, but they're just going to undo the shit Trump's doing. Yeah. They're not abolishing ICE, not doing anything crazy, but, you know, it seems like at this stage... Because Obama put kids in cages, too. That happened. Yeah. I know you might not like it, but it did. And I think at this point, even if Joe Biden did that again, he's not going to be ignored the way Obama was ignored. No. People are not having... If Joe Biden wins, it's not going to be the same as Obama. No. It might be on CNN and MSNBC where they just ignore all the bad things he does. But the internet it's over now.
The reason I love Gen Z is because I want every fucking... old person running for office to know now the youth already fucking hates you. You have to earn their trust. Biden's not going to live in the same climate Obama did. Another thing that is upsetting to me, I know we're on the last one, we kind of got to get moving on it, but the funniest thing is this theme of this article is literally just like, let's try and get back to 4 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's the theme. That's Joe Biden's entire campaign has been, let's return back to how things were.
Let's take level black to level fucking red.
Yeah, and every single person under the age of 50 without 4 different retirement accounts is just, no, I don't want to go back to that. Well, but it's that or fly off a fucking cliff potentially, so we'll see. We'll see what goes on. I'm not telling you how I'm voting.
Yeah. That was our politics, and let's move to something lighter.
Wow, we went on a long time about that one. It's important.
Yeah, but it's the fucking most important.
Now let's get something more important.
Yeah, the most important one, television.
Yes.
It's a lighter one, a happier one. Netflix fucking sucks. And they censored a gay character in one of their Turkish shows because the Turkish government did not want it to fucking happen. Now let's talk about Netflix and censorship.
I want to get right before we okay, yeah. Let's get into that.
Real quick. I'll let you go on yours. This happened earlier with Hassan Minhaj. Yeah. Yeah. No clue why the fuck people are just letting all this shit slide. And it is another thing where it is big fucking companies are reminding you that they're big fucking companies, no matter how socially active they appear. Netflix had some great tweets that we all liked. They had a Black Lives Matter section of the Netflix that I think was really cool and really important. But then they remind you that they don't fucking care because it's all about that green, baby. Yeah. And they showed everyone who was gay that they are only about that green.
Now back to this entire they're about that green. Yeah. I don't understand this from a long-term perspective. I get that you want that Turkish money. Tiny fucking country. That has to be barely a % of their total income. Yeah. So why curtail what you're producing for them? Netflix makes more money than Turkey does.
Now let me throw out this one thing that the reason I think that it's so fucking dumb, but the reason I think they did it, I think it was Netflix cutting a corner where they were, because this was a Turkish show, they thought that no one would fucking notice. I doubt it, but it's one of those things where like I guarantee you I don't think they thought the consequence of that was going to be that big. But this also shows that everything you fucking do, even if it's a tiny Turkish show they only watch in Turkey, it fucking has consequence, and it should.
That's fair, but I'd like to point out that if there's one thing America is good at, it's war, and we've been winning the culture war forever. Yeah. Every other country consumes our media, and then you say Turkish show, and 90% of Americans' eyes glaze over, and they're like, different language, and they don't watch it. Meanwhile, everything we create, Disney is America. Yeah. We are Disney. We control everything. And what should come with that, winning the culture war, is that we decide the culture. That means gay people across the fucking world should be allowed to be in TV shows. That should be the trophy for winning this.
But the problem is that that's not the culture. The culture is making the most money. Like that's the American. That's sorry, had to body slam you with that one. I don't know. My biggest point on that is I just don't. And I'll say it again, but it just reminds you that Netflix is a fucking company, and they are not this fucking. They're not there to fucking get you informed on social issues. They're there to make $1.
Their CEO, I don't have the exact quote, but I'll put it up there. Said at one point that Netflix is not there to inform; it is there to entertain.
Yeah,
specifically about the Hasan Minhaj thing.
Yeah,
it's just like he's admitting that the documentaries that they let out, goop and all that shit. It's not science based. It's not fact based. They're just entertaining you, and that's fucking. I mean, I guess I like that he came out and admitted it.
No, I do too. But the thing is, like, you know, it's. But the people aren't reading that and going, oh, yeah, I shouldn't take it seriously. Because every fucking dipshit's parents is watching Goof and being like, maybe crystals are a way to fucking heal myself.
Mm-hmm. Yikes. Well, Lord. In general, fuck Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we're done with television, let's get into video games.
So the funny thing now is that NBA 2K20 is a new game coming on the PS5.
And I promise we're not talking about microtransactions.
Yeah, and I'm not going to want to tangent about basketball. 2K20 is coming out, and 2K has decided that this is going to be $70 instead of the standard $60.
It'd actually be $69.99. It's a very funny number.
Oh, well, maybe I'm okay with it
instead of $59.99.
The article kind of just goes on quite a few things, especially in like the gaming community or whatever.
If there's one article to actually read and not just get our takes on, this is the one. It is long and detailed, and I learned so much. It was so cool.
It dives into one of the most interesting things that I think is that people are starting to think about video games in general and what development means, because the past couple years they've been doing the same thing where it's like now when companies put their employees under crunch, they're getting fucked on.
Yeah.
And we're like, we can't do this. Even Naughty Dog and Rockstar have been shitted on. We're like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
My problem with this increasing the price, I'd be okay with it if we were living in Fantasyland and it was going to developers or ensuring that they would not be put under such immense fucking stress. But the problem is it's fucking 2K20, and if you've played 2K, you know you've played my team, and you know that my team has cost you money outside of the fucking game.
Yeah. And that money's also not finding its way back to the developers who created the game.
No, it is. It's essentially a giant money sink, and now 2K has decided that they want $10 more a year from you for it.
Yeah. Which, in general, when I first heard this, I was very upset by it. That being said, I've bought one new video game in the past 3-4 years. Yeah. So, like, I'm not the target demographic anymore. It's 16-year-olds whose parents have too much money.
Exactly. And me.
But they did bring up that if you judge this based on inflation, since they brought it to $59.99 15 years ago, it doesn't even match inflation. Bread and milk have gone up more percentage-wise than video games have, and I think this was the most important. At one point, they go on about how every megabyte of data in a game is actually cheaper now. I was like, no one fucking cares. What the fuck are you talking about?
We're lost in the weeds.
They brought up that in the past, people bought like 5-6 video games a year on average, and now that's down to 2 or 3 because most of the video games you buy are just huge, expansive adventures. I mean, you buy shit like Red Dead 2, and you could play that game for 400 hours and then stumble upon a new thing you hadn't seen before.
The craziest thing, too, is, like, whenever you go on, like saying that with video games, like, when we were kids, I used to fucking run my games dry. Yeah. I would play them constantly. And now thinking back, I'm like, I probably spent 30 hours in that game. But now, like, I spend 30 hours in Call of Duty the first month I got it. And I've been playing it every day since. I don't know. It's, for me, my biggest problem is that it lies that it is 2K.
I think I think I'm in the same boat because what I think is most massive multiplayer games like Valorant, CSGO, Call of Duty, 2K, the kind of games that don't have a storyline, you're just playing them repetitively, they seem, at least in the PC world, to be transitioning towards being free games with the option to pay for season passes and other things along the lines. And I think that is the most fair and balanced way to release a game. Because those are constantly changing, updating. You're paying them to be updated. You can choose to not pay and just play it for free. But sometimes I just give money because I'm like, I've played 30 hours of this. I feel like you deserve $10.
When Warzone dropped, it was free for everyone, which was weird because like I thought it was just going to be an update on Call of Duty, but it's been great because Warzone has fucking been trouncing like all the other Battle Royales right now.
Yeah.
Fortnite is even number 2 currently, I think.
Damn. That being said, there's also games like Last of Us 2 that just came out. That being $70 doesn't seem insane to me.
Yeah.
You're going to get 20 hours out of it. And that compared to the cost of a movie ticket or the cost of buying a DVD or a bunch of going to a park, the other similar fun entertainment things you could do with that money, it's nothing.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Also, as I will say, and I don't want to be the kind of guy that's like, nah, consumers get over it. Things get more expensive. There's so many cheaper ways to get games. If you want the brand new spanking game the day it comes out, it's $70. You could also just wait 1 year and then get it for fucking $15.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, taking the context of this, if Last of Us 2 came out, which I bought 2 weeks before it released, Last of Us 2 came out and said we want $70 or $80, I'd be like, yes, absolutely. Fuck 2K.
Last thing I want to bring up, which I just found interesting in the article, they brought up that console games as a whole, the Switch, PS4, Xbox, all as one, is like less than 1/5 of PC games, which I just didn't think it was that big of a jump. And it makes it really obvious, and they get into the nitty-gritty of this they know way more than I do, but basically that Sony, because the PlayStation part is so big of their whole franchise, that they have to get good consoles. They have to have those exclusives. They have to sell well. Yeah. Whereas if the Xbox fails, Microsoft doesn't, like, that's a tiny little sliver of what Microsoft does, which is why I think Microsoft just gave up on exclusives. Yeah. And thank you for doing that, Microsoft. That's fucking dope.
I wish I could play Last of Us on my PC, but I've resigned to sucking corporate dick on this one occasion.
Yeah. I don't know if that'll last forever. I feel like eventually Sony's going to have to kind of make their own Xbox Live thing that you can connect to your computer.
Because Horizon already came out, or Horizon's coming out in August. Horizon was one of PS4's biggest exclusives last year. Year before, who cares?
And Crash Bandicoot and Spyro came out for the PC as well. Which Crash was PlayStation exclusive from the get-go.
Yeah, I think they're slowly trying to churn it out, but I don't know if like we're gonna see Naughty Dog or fucking they're like Sucker Punch, like pushing other
I mean, eventually they have to. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that this is the last generation of consoles we see.
Really?
I just don't see how they can keep this going, especially with like just how subscription-based gaming is changing out.
Yeah.
Because I have that Xbox Game Pass. You put me on it just a little while ago. I pay $5 a month, and I get like 80 fucking games.
Yeah.
Way more than I could ever play. And if you were just a casual gamer, you could build a PC for $400, buy that for $5 a month, and never get bored for the rest of your fucking life.
My biggest hope is that, and I know everyone's going to be like, no, build a PC, but like, if pre-builts get cheaper, dude, they're going to start flying off the fucking shelves.
That's what I think might start happening, is either PlayStation and Xbox start selling theirs not really as consoles, but as pre-builts, and then they start selling their operating systems.
Yeah.
Instead of like an actual operating system, make it like the launcher.
Yeah.
Like if I turned my computer on and clicked the little PlayStation button and it brought up and made it play just like a PlayStation, that's not hard for them to do. It's literally what they do on the console.
Yeah.
They just have to release that to public, charge me $5 a month to use it, and I get a couple games for free as well.
Love it.
I'd be all over it.
Love hearing you talk about video games, but we got to move into the next one.
Yep.
And that is going to be our music. So, Mike Pence.
Right back to politics.
Mike
fucking Pence.
The CDC released a guideline that people should not be around fucking choirs and shit and people singing because
specifically said in churches.
Yeah,
because you're trapped inside.
Yeah,
the air's not circulating, and you got a bunch of people singing. They're spitting everywhere.
One of the things that actually popped in the article I didn't notice till after was that the federal government did not approve that guideline.
Yeah,
so it got stricken down, and then Mike Pence, I think it was last week. He was at a church and he gave in
Dallas, just right up there,
and he gave a speech unmasked and with 100 people singing. Yeah. And let's get through a couple of things.
There's 2,000 people in this building. Yeah. It's a mega church. The maximum capacity is 3,000.
Yeah.
So 2,000, you're not sitting 6 feet apart.
No.
You're trapped inside. And then you've got 100 people singing. And they even brought up that the singers put their masks on in between songs.
Oh,
which
Jesus
seems
Christ.
like it does a whole lot of good to wear the mask after spitting at people.
It's like we're...
It'd be like if we did this podcast, but instead of you watching it, we would just stood a couple feet away from you and spat in your mouth as we talked.
That's like playing paintball and only putting on the mask when you shoot at people. Oh, man. I wanted to go through got to rush through this one, but I got a couple of things on this.
Yeah.
Mike Pence said, as we think about the challenges, the loss of more than 125,000 of our countrymen, keep in mind he was giving this to over 100 people who were unmasked while he was unmasked.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of the grief of those families, again unmasked, we think of those that are struggling with this disease today, unmasked. Those who've endured economic hardship in the midst of the challenges we face, and he was unmasked. Really just shows how fucking out of touch every goddamn evangelist, is. And especially fucking Mike Pence.
Yeah, Mike Pence is more dangerous and scary than Trump. I choose to believe he is equally insane and crazy, but doesn't show it as much.
Yeah, he couldn't get a reality TV deal.
He definitely could not. Oh, maybe him and Mama.
Does he call his wife Mama?
He calls his wife
Reagan
Mama.
did that shit. And it was
so
gross.
creepy. Just the weirdest fucking thing.
All right, Mike Pence is fucking disgusting. Next topic.
We already knew that.
So this is a happy one because it has to do with the happiest place on earth.
That's true. We're getting to our random. Got to end on the fun note.
Yeah. So Disney World is reopening in the midst of one of the hottest fucking states for coronavirus, which is Florida.
Yeah, specifically just blew up like recently. They have the same resurgence that Texas is dealing with right now because they opened everything up, and that tends to I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's bad. That makes it so there's more cases.
Yeah, they didn't wear their masks while they weren't singing. They got fucked.
Yeah.
Going through it a little bit, back in May, they gave a timeline for when they would be able to reopen. They're like, we're taking certain precautions. Think all the fucking PR speak. Right now, they're looking at July 15th. They're going to open. Yeah. Or on Saturday, they're going to open Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and then Epcot, and then. Oh, my God. On July 15th, they're going to open Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Fully open Disney World by July 15th.
Which is fucking absurd.
We're fucked.
Yeah. And my favorite part about all this, which they didn't even bring up in the article, but I found out, Disney offices, 100% closed.
Yeah, absolutely.
They let a few people in to do, like, the minor work of keeping it clean while nobody's there not working. But, for their safety, they couldn't ask the corporate staff to go to work. Yeah. That being said, you can let people ruin their lives by coming into Disney World, though.
Dude, but they're cast members.
Oh, yes.
Their lives are fucking movies, bro.
Mm-hmm.
A little more context for Disney World to reopen. The Florida Department of Health reported more than 10,000 new coronavirus cases on Tuesday, bringing the state's total to more than 220,000.
And my favorite part of the entire article is that they bring up that the CEO of Disney says that it will all be safe because he's been told by doctors that it will be all right.
Yeah.
Then they bring on said doctor, who quotes that they're handling this as well as they possibly could with new standards of hygiene and all that.
Yeah.
Works for Disney. If you're a doctor that works for Disney, I assume your job is to say you can open the park whenever you damn well fucking want. Or you wouldn't be getting paid by Disney anymore.
When we hire our first employee, if they say their favorite podcast isn't us, guess where they're going? Another thing is that
hit us up on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. This is such an obvious thing, but they're not even considering and barely talking about people are coming in from airplanes and fucking like go all these other places, and it's going to be like because Disney World isn't like Austin. Like, people come and visit Austin and they leave, but not a ton. Disney World is
And
literally
once a year,
Yeah.
a shitloads of people come to Austin.
Yeah.
But just once.
But this is like if South by was happening fucking every day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you have to make reservations. I don't care if you have to wear masks. Like, the only way I'd be okay with this happening is if it was people in fucking hazmat suits. Actually, no. People who weren't rich and in hazmat suits.
My
and
biggest
all their
problem is
shit was
the
paid
workers are still going to have to be there. And then they're going to get sick. They're going to spread it to their families.
Yeah.
Them and their families aren't going to have the best health insurance. They're going to get fired if they get sick and don't go to work. They're going to lose their health insurance.
Yeah.
And once again, it's just all for that bag. And the Disney bag. The endless bag that they don't have to reopen.
No.
They don't need it.
I literally wrote it down again, and I was just like, once again, companies are reminding us that they're not one of us. They're companies.
Yeah. Giant companies.
Giant
Small
fucking
mom and pop shops, just the best.
Yeah,
just gotta love them. I know a couple of really good movie theaters and bars that are stayed nice and closed the whole time because they knew they didn't want to risk their employees because they're good people. Last note on the whole Disney opening up thing. I didn't know this. Disney World, the one in Florida, is the most visited theme park in the entire world and most well-known theme park in the entire world. Which means every other theme park potentially, other than the nice mom and pop ones that care more about keeping people alive than getting that tiny Skrilla, they're gonna start opening up too, and then people are gonna be in planes flying every fucking which way to go on vacation because if they get sick, they got retirement accounts to fill back on. They'll be fine, and then all the people at Disney World and those parks.
This shit was a corporate timeline that they're sticking to regardless of the context of the situation, which is things are getting worse. Stay inside.
They were closed for 116 days.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw out that 117th day. That was the worst day of that whole time for them to reopen. That's when the cases were the worst in Florida. So it had nothing to do with actually keeping people safe, that policy. They just decided for those 116 days, this is where the fallout of us being open is going to get us in trouble.
Jesse, Dr. Disney said it's going to be fine. Masks, hand sanitizer, maybe. We got to let the rich people ride Space Mountain.
There also, it's not talked about in the report, but in the article, but there have been reports on Twitter from Disney staff that shit is not getting cleaned when it should be. Specifically, the Star Wars, they have like a sit-down virtual theater and just no cleaning in between.
Star Tours?
Yeah, no cleaning in between it from somebody. They show pictures of it and just like, if you go to Disney, you're completely fucked. You're going to get sick.
God damn it.
Disney World is the size of San Francisco, and they're going to somehow keep that clean for tourists. You know how you treat things
when you've been to San Francisco? You see the street in San Francisco?
Have you ever rented a car? That's what going to Disney World is like. You can literally, you just treat everything like shit. You're on vacation. And then that combined with the pandemic and other people. Also, if you're going to Disney World, you don't even believe the virus is real.
Yeah, and you're going to get churros, and you have to take your mask off to eat your churro.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Churros are evil now. All right.
That's fair. I think it's okay to open for just the churros.
Yeah, Churro Land. Hit me up.
I'd be about it.
All right, well,
that's everything.
Sick fucking note to end on. Things are not going great right now.
We are very happy that we don't have to do the good news ones anymore.
Yeah, God, because the problem was that was just bad for our mental health.
Yeah.
It was great for y'all, terrible for us.
Exactly. We want to all be on the same mental health levels, which is dog shit.
Yeah.
As it should be during this pandemic. If you're just doing great, I don't trust you anymore.
Not at all.
But thank you for listening.
Yeah. Let us know how you like the new format and go protest.
Yeah.